I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Jocks Michel.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome back.
Hey guys.
Man, it's been so long. I'm not even sure what episode number this is.
I know.
I want to say it's 39.
Yes.
But I think that's a guess. But
it's 39.
It's 39? Let's do it.
You're usually good at the numbers.
I usually am. Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 39.
What's up?
Catch us back up, Jackie. What we been doing? Because I forgot.
I don't know if we talked about this, but we did go on a family vacation to Orlando.
Yes.
So that was a while back.
Yeah.
That was last month.
Yeah, that was last month.
We went to Orlando, so we did the whole
what did we do?
Universal. We did a water
Yeah, we
park.
did City Walk.
It was a good trip.
It was. We stayed at a nice little Airbnb. I'm not going to tell you. We stayed at a nice Airbnb.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, it was a good time. Got to spend with family.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my family came from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much all the cousins, just the young cousins.
Yeah.
We got together. And yeah,
we don't get to really hang out with Jox's family like that.
Yeah.
What?
We don't. I'm just agreeing.
Oh, you did a face.
Nah.
But yeah, like your family that's like around our age.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was nice. And then 2 of your cousins actually moved back with us here.
Yeah. Well,
and stayed with us before.
Both of them went with us there anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they both rode with us up.
Yeah, so they kind of had like the longest vacation.
Yeah.
And basically had our house to themselves, even though they didn't want to do anything to like mess it up. I was like, you can go to the pool.
But it was the worst. Yeah, they came.
It was raining.
For some reason, just one day, as soon as I picked up my first cousin from the airport, it started raining. And it didn't start raining until they left.
Yeah, literally the next day I texted them like, so it's a beautiful day right now.
So anyway, shout out to them. Had some really good conversation.
Yeah, good conversation, good times.
Yeah.
Showed them around Miami. So, one of them actually is in college. They're both in college, but one of them is a little older.
Yeah.
And so she comes for spring break and that kind of stuff. But
being a hot girl.
Okay. Hot girl summer?
Anyway.
But yeah, so she knows like South Beach and stuff, but her and her friends have never hung out on the real side of Miami. So we got to show both of them like, what we do here. Little Haiti and Wynwood. We went to Miami Gardens.
Yeah, I remember, and my
cousin. Oh yeah, we took them
to just some spot
to eat.
Oh well, I mean we shot them out before.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy cafe, and they met some people there, and my cousin was just like, she met a real city girl.
She was like, I met real city girls. I was like, what are you talking about?
And the thing
no. As soon as you guys got back in the car, I was like, oh, the bonnet, the long nails.
But it was just a story that the girl was telling, and I was just like, yeah, that's a real city girl.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, every time I go there, I pick up and I leave, so I don't hear those crazy stories.
Nah, the girl's wilding. But
okay, well, you guys check out Pretty Healthy.
Yeah.
It's always good. And so they came. They stayed for a while. One of their flights was delayed, and then she ended up staying longer.
It was United, I believe. It was United. But anyway, then you got missing for a little bit.
Yeah, I went on a little girls trip with my 2 best friends, like growing up. Basically, since I was 10, we've all like been best friends. Them 2 have known each other since like
I've known them longer than you have.
Yeah, they've known each other since they were like 1. But I came into the picture when I was 10, so almost 20 years of friendship.
Yeah, dang, it has been that long.
Yeah, we went to the Rainbow Falls. That was really nice. I definitely want to go back.
We will.
Like,
I mean, it's a bunch of springs.
The water is so clear.
Yeah, it's a bunch of. But was it hot?
It was perfect.
The water? I'm talking about water temperature.
No, the water was freezing cold.
Freezing cold?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to go to the springs. I was supposed to go when I was in college, but we never did it. Well, I never did it.
You go on your guys trip. Like, it's not that far
from Orlando?
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
Like an hour away.
Oh, yeah, guys tripping and making.
Okay.
Nah, because girls always,
Y'all been planning
you always hear about the
girls
girls trip. Nah.
Ever since I have been talking about this guys trip, we've planned like maybe 5 girls trips. I've gone on 5 girls trips since then.
Once we locked it down, I mean, you already know, Hot Boys already in the lead. Hot Boys already in the lead for the summer. But
like, yeah. So they usually don't go nowhere without like their women. We have to be there. But we'll see if this happens.
Anyway.
If it does, I'll have the house to myself.
And then, anyway, that was another thing. I can't lie, though. When he was gone, it was a little weird. Only because I think the weather was bad, and I just wasn't feeling it. All my friends were busy. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I got a lot of free time, but nothing to do. So that was a little depressing. But I'm coming back. Hot Boy Summer is not over. Nah, I'm telling you, it was nothing I could have done. But anyway.
You could have went swimming.
It was terrible weather. I'm telling you. So anyway, most recently, we went to Key West.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It was
like a mixture.
9 of us. Yeah, it was 9 of us. The age range was like 15 to like 60.
Is she 60?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't mean to put an age out there like that.
Jeez.
But anyway, it was a wide age range, but the majority of us were in our late 20s to early 30s.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Like, we live in Florida, but I feel like we, especially black people, we don't really like go down to Key West, all the way down to Key West, and enjoy it like that.
It's not that far.
It is.
It's not, because we've driven to and from Tampa like for 4 years.
The length, like the distance isn't far, but the amount of time it takes you to go that short distance is kind of
it's because of the traffic.
Yeah. It's one lane highway for most of the way. But besides that, I mean, it's really fun. I like Key West.
It's just super hot.
Super hot. Yeah, it's a different type of heat down there.
Yeah.
And what else?
So we might go back.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it was nice.
But we've been there before.
Jackie went parasailing.
I went parasailing. We did the banana boat together.
Oh man, the banana boat.
Together.
I got the footage, but I don't need to put it out. The banana boat.
Didn't fall, so
I didn't really fall either.
That was the one thing I was scared about. I wasn't scared of parasailing. I wasn't scared of jet skis. We had done jet skis before.
Yeah.
Of the banana boat, I've heard stories about, and I was just like, I don't know.
I mean, I never heard nothing. At first, I was just like, man, what is this? Whatever, I didn't want to do it.
I don't trust it. It's like the floaties that we have. Like,
yeah, but I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I don't know. It's just weird. It's just, and he was doing stuff on purpose.
Yeah,
so he was knocked off.
Yeah, so like when we went, nobody fell out of the banana boat because it's not like a single tube where you just everybody's like in one row. This one was it was like a U shape, so it's people on both sides of the banana boat, and he's pulling it with the jet ski, and he'll like turn it in a way like where it would yank the boat.
Yeah.
So nobody on our boat fell, but other people we definitely saw them hit the water. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun overall trip. We actually went to a fire Haitian spot in Key West.
Oh.
Which
we're gonna have to
yeah, we will.
Or this time.
We can we can maybe split the small business spotlight and we can put them on there. But it's definitely really good. They make, I don't care nobody say, the best key lime pie in Key West.
First of all, we've only had like 1 key lime pie before.
2.
I don't know. I stay away from key lime pie because it's why.
But did that one taste good though?
It was good, but it tasted like cremas in a pie.
Jackie said everything tastes like cremas.
It's because they added some vanilla.
Yeah, they definitely added
cinnamon,
vanilla.
Something.
And then they made a Haitian Arnold Palmer, which was also fire. It was.
Yeah, we have to go back.
Yeah, it was limeade with some type of iced tea. And I know she put vanilla in it. She didn't tell me, but I know she did.
They put vanilla in everything. We put vanilla in everything.
It was fire though.
It was
fire. So definitely want to go back, enjoy all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What else? Today's just chill.
Yeah.
Jots has never seen Beauty Shop before today, which I was just like,
it's worse.
This is insane.
First of all, I've seen Beauty Shop.
No, you didn't.
I haven't watched it in full. I've seen Beauty Shop. My wife has never seen Cool Runnings. Now, please comment anything. Please tell me I'm not crazy and that her not seeing Beauty Shop is a black card violation. I truly believe so. Cool Runnings. What I said? Beauty Shop. Cool Runnings. Oh, I've never seen Cool Runnings.
Okay.
I think that's a violation.
Name me the people in Cool Runnings.
Man, it's
names,
the dude.
names.
It's Janet Jackson's husband.
Names.
From Why Did I Get Married? And
no one knows his name.
I don't know his name, but you know him.
But you know Queen Latifah, right? She's like the lead in Beauty Shop, and you have never.
The white dude, Louis.
Every Queen Latifah movie,
Louis something.
You should have seen.
I've seen most of them.
Except for Beauty Shop.
I've seen Beauty Shop because I was telling you, I was like, oh, this is the movie she fell in love with the electrician.
After I kept giving you the clues.
Anyway, please tell me it's not worse. My wife has not seen Cool Runnings. I think it's terrible.
You tell me you've seen Cool Runnings.
It's a Disney movie.
Who talks about Cool Runnings?
Everybody. Jamaica got a bobsled team. Like, that's like famous. So people have said that you still don't know what the hell they're talking about?
No.
That's
I've never
crazy.
heard anybody talk about this.
That is a black card violation. Not seeing Cool Runnings?
Take it then.
Honestly.
Take my card. I don't care. So anyway, I might watch it tonight. We'll see if we can find it somewhere.
Okay. Anyway.
But yeah. So we do have a comment from socials. Well, this is from iTunes. So if you do not know, you can rate us and comment on iTunes, and it'll help us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what, but help. I just like to see it. Rate us 5 stars.
Well, I didn't even notice that this was on there for like a month or two, and then you were like, "Oh, Serge left us a comment." So shout out to Serge and Cheryl and the whole family.
Yeah.
He said, "This is entertaining. Love the wide range of topics they cover. They have great compatibility on the podcast. One of the best podcasts on here. I must add to your subscription." So
yeah, sounds about right.
That.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Thank you for that. You guys can also subscribe and rate us. Send us comments on SoundCloud or on the gram at Jackie and Michelle and Twitter at Coach_JLX.
Yep.
And if you want to support the podcast, you can check out our links for some deals that we're partnered with.
I think we still have Audible. If you want to get your Audible.
Yeah, a couple people have asked about Audible.
Yeah, so definitely got to get on those. Mm-hmm. LOLA, I believe, is the other one. Mm-hmm. And Instacart.
Yeah, Instacart, right? And we have Get Upside as well. If you want to save on some gas.
Yes.
That's a cool app.
Definitely check those out.
Okay.
And yeah, let's move on to the current matter.
Let's move on.
Yep.
Okay, so this episode's current matter is just about people apparently being
dirty, nasty. I want me to teach y'all no home training.
So I haven't been on Twitter for a minute now.
And it's been a strain on our relationship.
It hasn't.
It has.
It hasn't.
I miss it.
But I still hear about what's going on because I still have Instagram, people talk, and you show me stuff. And one of the latest, should I say resurgence?
I don't know. It's like a phenomenon that I didn't know existed.
We probably kind of knew existed.
I'm not going to comment.
But now we really know it exists.
I've only heard of such
dirty.
things. Yeah, I've only heard of such things.
So the first thing that kind of came out is people are not washing their legs for whatever reason. People just feel like they could take a shower, they scrub the top part of their body, and rinse, and then whatever comes down on their legs, that's washing it.
All right, here's my thing, right? Because the lady said...
What lady?
I forgot her name. She's just a random lady on Twitter, I believe. She was just like... it gets slippery, and the soap is already running down her legs anyway. She good. And I'm just like, you're nasty.
Yeah?
You're in the shower. The floor is kind of already a little slippery just from the soap that's coming off of you to begin with. Once it mixes with the water, it's diluted enough. You could scrub your feet and be fine. Because the water's right there. Fine, you that scared? Don't turn the water off. Scrub your feet in the water. But you can still scrub your legs. And that's not even, you know what? That's not even a good excuse. Because that's just your feet. She said legs.
Even if it's I don't feel like bending down. There are those little, wooden sticks.
I ain't shooting you no bell. I ain't shooting you no bell. Bend over. I bend over, wash your legs, man. Wash your legs. It's ridiculous. I can't, God.
So anyway,
No port.
Apparently, Taylor Swift was on Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
This was a while back, mind you, but more has come out since then. Taylor Swift was on Ellen, and I guess Ellen was asking her if she washes her legs because that was around the time it came out, and Taylor was like, "I do, because when you have when you shave your legs, the shaving cream is like soap, right?" And then Ellen was like, "Yeah." So basically, she only washes her legs when she shaves her legs. That's what I'm getting from that.
First of all, I'm gonna hope that's not true.
Which is like,
she could pay somebody to wash her legs.
If you're like me and most of the people I know, you don't shave your legs every time you take a shower because that's insane. You're gonna be shaving skin at that point. But if you're Taylor Swift, you're just shaving scum. Like,
bro,
your razor is disgusting.
And to be honest with you, I pray that people are not this nasty, right?
But they are.
It's funny because Jackie was watching this thing on YouTube.
Oh,
yeah. And the lady was talking about taking a shower, but I think she said like every other day.
No. First of all, it was one show we were watching.
I was watching
this show called Parenthood. It's really good. It's on. I think I was watching on Netflix. And they have but that was like the first time I heard of it. And they have like maybe 7 seasons, and I never knew it was on TV. But anyway, I binge watched the whole thing. And one of the family members has an autistic son. I think he's autistic. And
yeah, he is. Yeah,
Asperger's, yeah. And so he when he was around like 13 or whatever, when you start, being
starting to smell
stuff, he said, "No, I'm not going to take a shower to his mom. I take showers Tuesdays and Thursdays." And that was like something that they had discussed as a family. Like, you said okay to this? Like,
I don't know, man. That's a different level of nasty.
So that was the first time I heard of that. And then whatever you're talking about, I know what you're talking about.
It was somewhere that's like these women were following their mother's morning routine.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl
it was one of those like BuzzFeed type.
Yeah, it was like a BuzzFeed video. And she was like, on days that I take showers and days that I don't. And I was like, nah, she ain't say that.
She had to follow her mom's morning routine.
On days that I shower?
Yeah.
You know when I shower? On days that end with Y. Bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
the craziest thing is that when we were in Key West, we took a shower like 3 times a day.
It was one morning. I took 3 showers before 12.
Yeah, it was bad. Like,
I don't know how y'all do it.
How you take a shower every other day or every 2 days? I don't get that part.
All those are nasty. But low key, the nastiest one though is this dude from this podcast I listen to.
Yeah, that's
Jalen and Jacoby podcast. Fire podcast. Don't get me wrong. Fire podcast. But Jacoby, you my guy. You're sick. You're sick. You're disgusting. So he always talks about like he plays in adult men's basketball league, and after he plays games, he's admitted that he's an avid sweater. Like he sweats hard. He doesn't take a shower, and he may not take a shower until like nighttime the next day. And he had all type of excuses. And he's like, yeah, but I change my clothes. And do I ever stink? Yo, it's the principle. I don't care if you never stink, my guy. You finish playing a basketball game, you gotta take a shower. You finish a day at work, you gotta take a shower.
Like when you come back from working out or whatever, or even from work, sometimes I just feel like don't lay on the bed.
Yeah, I agree. And
that's nasty.
And that was my other thing. Like, he's married. How you lay in the bed next to your wife
with dried up sweat on your body,
and ain't no soap touch your body today.
Yeah.
Or you sick.
Well, here's another thing.
I hope she don't put him.
Since you're talking about soap touching the body, some people do not use washcloths in the shower.
I've heard of such behavior.
And so, I feel like the only time you should be doing that is if you really you're just out of luck, like you're in the woods camping and all you have is a bar of soap and that's it. That's all you can use. But if you're in the shower and you don't have no washcloth, how are you really
getting clean?
Yeah, how you scrub it off?
When I say the ancestors, they had washcloths.
But I'm sure they had muslin.
God gave them a natural washcloth in their hand.
They had cotton.
My thing is, if you sharing a bar of soap, and I know people are like, oh, soap can't get dirty. Listen, that's a lie. If you ever look at soap, things can live on the bar of soap.
Disgusting.
Y'all sick.
But then you just rinse it off, right? And it's clean.
Jesus.
So then here's another thing that I saw. There was like another thing, I think, on Twitter that people...
For somebody who don't have Twitter, you be on Twitter a lot.
Well, I think I heard about it on a... No, yeah. I heard about it on a podcast first.
You know what? Go ahead.
I heard about it on a podcast, like one of my favorite podcasts, and they were talking about what they saw on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And then I had to go on Twitter.
So you lived through them. All right.
Yeah. They were talking about... it was some letter they got from a listener that was saying her fiance's nephew or whatever went to the pool, and when they got home, or when he got inside, the fiance's sister, because that's his mom, told him to just go upstairs and put on some pajamas before bed.
Yo.
And she was like, I don't understand. Like, he just went swimming.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, when you get out of the pool, it's okay not to shower, right? To some people. I grew up with a pool, right?
And I own a pool now.
And I've gone to swimming lessons probably for like 3 years out of my childhood. And when I was at the pool, like at the swimming lesson, my mom would tell me to go rinse off. And then when I got home, especially, hair is a big factor too.
Yeah.
When I got home, you're smelling like chlorine.
Yeah.
Your skin is itchy. Your skin feels dry. At least my skin feels dry. And then you have to go take a shower. Like, she would be like, "Okay, go take a shower now."
Listen, I don't understand. And then I think.
But wait, somebody on Twitter said, "I'm going swimming today. It counts as my bath." And somebody replied, "My dad always told me if chlorine can't kill it, soap doesn't stand a chance."
Yo, your dad has a disease. So
that's disgusting.
It's just the thought process. Like, if chlorine don't kill it, soap. Yo, you know what? Even if it don't, I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah.
Soap, you got a chance in my life, always. Once you leave the pool, so many other people are in the pool. People pee in pools.
Right. Like, I found, a turtle in our pool before.
Just like anything.
You don't know.
And then she said it counts as her bath, like, for today. Like, today, this is the only shower you was going to take. Is jumping in the pool. Yeah. And other people be in all the time.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Like, at the end of each day, they have to add more chlorine. Because at some point, the chlorine kind of, like, fades out.
Right.
You have to add more chlorine to the pool. Yeah. It's not like the pool has an endless amount of chlorine anyway.
Yeah, public pools, I think they should add it.
I can't do it.
I think they should add it every day. I'm
they probably do.
Because it's like a lot of people in there. If it's like a residential pool, you probably have to add it every 3 days, every week.
If they remember.
It just depends on... Nah, you gotta be... I'm better about it now, because...
Yeah,
But you gotta be, like... It depends on how much you use it, use the pool.
Bro. But
especially in Florida with this heat, the summer, the sun will kind of dry out your chlorine, is what somebody told me at the pool store once. So, I don't know if that's just because they want me to keep coming back and buying chlorine.
You know what? They got it right. I'll be back.
But and you have to take a shower.
And you know what? Shower? I'll be back too. Every day. And I'll be back. Okay,
the last time.
There's more?
Yeah. This is the last time. This is a YouTuber that I watch her sometimes on and off because she's interesting. But I guess she's been battling some gut disease for a while, and so it's her and her husband. She has 3 kids in the house, and she finally went to the doctor to figure out what is wrong with me. They finally told her it's like some type of bacteria in your stomach, in your gut, and that she should clean her house, bleach everything or whatever. And she was just like, I never bought a gallon of bleach before. I clean my house. I just never have cleaned with bleach. I never have purchased bleach before.
She must not have heard. If bleach can't kill it, soap don't stand a chance.
And I was just like, what? She was like, yeah, I have to bleach. She was saying she has to bleach all the doorknobs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so you're living with this bacteria and sharing a bed with your husband.
Couldn't be me.
And a house with your kids. And you don't know that bleach is ultimate cleaning supply?
Yo.
You don't even use it on your laundry?
Yo. Just know.
I don't understand.
If I go to your house and I don't eat, don't ask me why.
So what are some cleaning tips that we should put out in the atmosphere? Number 1, use a washcloth. Don't just put bar of soap to your body.
Bar the butt.
Stop.
I was going to say the whole
I know
phrase.
you were.
Bar the butt. Hey, man.
That's disgusting.
Wash the tail. Just jump in it. Water is your friend. Soaking water is your friend.
And washcloth.
It's just basic clean. Alright, you a jit. Alright, maybe, especially boys. Boys be nasty when they're young. But you definitely reach that point where it's like, yo, I can smell myself. And this is terrible. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I should take a shower. Hey, while I'm in here, let me bend down and get my legs. You know? The base.
Scrub in between your toes. Wash your
have
hair.
To do that? Yeah,
condition.
So if they don't wash their leg, I know they're not cleaning their belly button. I hope all y'all got outies.
Get a Q-tip, go in there.
Back of your neck smell like.
Yeah, back of your ears.
Oh, man,
that's
I can't.
Important.
Imagine how the back of their earrings smell.
Okay, we're gonna go now on that note because that's disgusting. Okay.
Oh, y'all think I know? Snip the back of your ear if you really want to know if she's clean or not. That's the spot. That's the spot. I'm telling y'all, that's the spot.
That's disgusting. So yeah, just be careful because then I started thinking dang, I should share a train with a bunch of people in New York. That's nasty.
Go home.
But especially in the wintertime, you have your gloves. You're always holding the rail with your gloves. But I would always carry hand sanitizer. Always. Now I just have it in my car.
It's the dirtiest place in America. New York? Dirtiest place in America.
Yeah, if you don't have to sit down, if your commute is not long on a train, just don't sit down because it's nasty. You don't know who's sitting there.
And this is what you be trying to get me to go to.
There.
I'm not going. Not gonna be able to do it.
Who slept there last night? You don't know who slept there last night.
Not gonna be able to do it.
Unfortunately. But yeah, so just stay clean. It's the summertime, it's hot, hygiene is important.
Just a little bit.
All year round, but especially in the summertime.
This is sick.
Okay. Let's move on.
I can't believe we had to do a topic about this. Alright, on to the Michel Matter.
So this episode's Michel Matter is a discussion or just a chat really that I had with my friend Ijinaya. We went to college together and we get into how we met and stuff like that. But she is from Trinidad but currently lives in Sudan. And we had recorded this when she was here maybe in December or January when I was taking her to the airport to go back home. And at that time, there were still protests going on in Sudan, but this was way before everybody was turning their profile pictures blue. So if you don't know what's going on over there, she gets into a little bit about that and how it's like living there and also how it was growing up in Trinidad. So just a heads up, she is safe. She's fine. She works at a school like we discussed, and because it's summertime, she's able to go to London and just spend time there with her boyfriend. So she's safe. So let us know what you guys think about that. and everything happening in Sudan. Here you go. Here's the discussion.
All right, let's get into it. So, here's Ijinaya. How are you?
I'm okay.
So basically I told you guys that we went to college together, and I don't know if you remember this, but you were the first friend that I made in college, or like the first person I met, because we weren't friends yet.
I think I remember that. Was it with my mom?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember.
Yeah. So I feel like you're probably one of my most interesting friends.
Oh, thanks.
And most well-traveled friends. So you're from Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what it's like growing up and living in Trinidad.
Well, Trinidad is a small island, so growing up there has just been, I would think it was really nice growing up there, because it was safe. We spent a lot of time outdoors. We didn't have, when I grew up, it wasn't really connected to the US as much as it is now. Right. So a lot of things that, I got used to when I came to the US, that it wasn't there in Trinidad. So television wasn't around until I was about 5.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there were televisions around, I guess, but it wasn't very big. You had to probably spend a lot to get a television.
Right.
Food was different. There wasn't a lot of imported items from the US. So you had a lot of locally grown foods and stuff. It was a nice childhood. I mean, your neighborhood was kind of like a village. Mm-hmm. People looked out for each other. I had a lot of friends in the neighborhood. I just had fun. You know, we partied. It was a different culture. It was just the quintessential island life, I guess you could say.
Got it.
Yeah.
And what's like, okay, so you're here for a little bit, and you've lived in the States, obviously.
Yeah.
And you go grocery shopping at Publix and like big supermarkets like that. Did you guys have that, or was it a lot of family-owned grocery stores?
Oh, I don't remember the grocery stores when I grew up. I mean, we had two major grocery stores, but they weren't as large as like Publix, and not as well stocked.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Until I got a little older, then you started to see more imported goods and everything. But
right.
I'm talking like early childhood. Those things we didn't have like all the snacks like fruit roll up and all these things that kids grew up on here.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola and stuff, wasn't really
a thing.
Too big of a thing back then.
Okay.
We grew up on coconut water and natural juices and stuff like that. Now it's
like
different.
straight from the coconut.
Straight from the coconut,
yes.
Not Vivo or whatever it's called.
Okay. And so we ended up going to fashion design school together.
Yes.
What made you decide to go to school in the States and not like study something in Trinidad?
I took a 3-year gap year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I graduated.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. Like, you didn't?
No.
Sorry.
No,
it doesn't really come up. But I graduated at 17, and I did not know what I wanted to do. And in Trinidad, I can speak for Trinidad at least. I can't really speak for all Caribbean islands, but in Trinidad, they kind of the school system gears you towards certain career paths.
Okay.
So,
like different trades.
Yeah, like doctor, lawyer, businessman, engineer, pretty much it's the main career path that the education system there kind of wants you to follow. And I wanted to be an environmental lawyer.
Okay.
But I struggled academically. I tried really hard. Like there's not a single teacher that I had that wouldn't say that she worked really hard.
Right.
But academia just wasn't my thing.
Okay.
I was creative, but not in a sense that I could follow really an art path. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And I graduated and I went to work at a school in Trinidad as a principal's assistant.
Okay.
And then after that, I decided somehow along the way I wanted to be a flight attendant. So So
I remember that.
Right.
Okay.
So at 18, I was one of 3 of the youngest flight attendants that worked for one of the local airlines. And then after that, I decided, after a year of it, they were merging between airlines and they were getting, basically cutting a lot of jobs and everything. And I saw people that had been air hostesses for upwards of their entire lives, and they had joined when they were 18 like me and had nothing else to fall back on, and then they just suddenly lost their jobs.
Wow.
So I said that can't be me one day, and I decided, you know what, I just am not going to renew my contract, and which was a really hard decision for me because I loved working as an air hostess at that time, flight attendant.
And where did you fly to at the time?
London mostly.
Okay.
So I was in London, I would say about every other week. I was in London, or sometimes more than once a week.
Okay.
But probably like more than once every 2 weeks or something.
Okay.
But,
and so London, Trinidad.
Trinidad, yeah. Barbados, Jamaica twice, Canada twice, Toronto twice, New York twice, Miami a few times, Guyana.
Okay.
But mostly London.
Nice.
And yeah, so after that,
do you think that's what developed your love for travel? Or
yeah, definitely. Okay. I always loved travel, but I didn't see it as that at that time.
Okay. You saw it as like work.
Yeah, and I just genuinely love the travel part, but I didn't really single out that travel part.
Got it.
Or identify it at that time.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I started working. My mom had a contact in the film industry, so I worked on a local TV series as a production assistant, and then partly as a wardrobe assistant later on. And then I got a job with one of my friends that I made on that set, working as a set design assistant on a film and a movie. A movie and I think another series. No, 2 movies with her. And I was art director assistant on another one, and some music videos. And that was when I decided I wanted to go to fashion school. After
music videos?
After the all of the set design and wardrobe assisting and all of that.
Interesting.
Because as an art director, you're doing wardrobe as well.
Right.
So, and I was assisting the art director. So, and that's when I was like, you know what? I think this is what I want to do. And I looked at schools that didn't need the SATs because I just did not want to do the SATs. Even though I'm an avid reader, I think I would have been fine with the English. I was not really sure about the math.
Okay.
So I just said, you know what?
Oh, because you don't take the SATs in Trinidad.
No, we don't.
Right.
Our system is British.
Okay.
So, and my mother's an English SAT teacher, and her friend does math, but I just did not feel confident enough. So I found, and that's how I found our school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So going into the program, did you think that you would be able to find work?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely did, because they said that you would. So, yeah. And you don't want to spend, because it was a lot of money for that school, because it was a private school.
Exactly.
So you don't ideally go into that thinking, I'm going to spend all this money and not be sure if I can get a job.
Right.
And, the situation with the internship that I got at the end was really upsetting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still a cool opportunity.
It was an excellent opportunity. And
so let's talk about that a little bit. So during our program, at the end of the program, you're supposed to have an internship, and it counts towards your credits, obviously. So a lot of people went to California, New York, and Ijinaya, of course, decided to go to China. So how did that come about, and what was that experience like?
That came about because the teachers, I started my process actually to go to London.
Okay.
I was going to do my internship in London, and
our advisor knew a lot of people.
Yeah, and one of our teachers said, you know what, I have a friend in China, and I want to start doing internships in China with him, and we want you to represent the school. We think you'd be a great representative for the school. And I said, okay, well, sure, I guess. I mulled it over, and I said I would try it, and I did. And it was amazing. but you could tell that I was the first.
Right.
He just wasn't really sure how to go about it, and so it took a while for me even to get him to commit to booking my ticket to go to China, because I started my internship in Tampa.
Okay.
From there, and then I was like, okay, so I'm ready to go to China anytime now. So that took a while, and then afterwards he said, I want to offer you a job with the company and everything, and I said, great. So I came back to Tampa, and this was my mistake. I should have had something more some more firm commitment, like a contract or something.
On paper.
But yeah, on paper. And I was like, great, I have a job offer. I took him for his word. I, sold my car, moved everything back to Trinidad in anticipation of, moving to Hong Kong. And I could not get him. He said, well, you'd have to go to LA and do another internship there and then go over to China, possibly, if you could get through with that. And I'm like, well, I sold my car and everything. I know nothing about LA. I don't want to go somewhere that I have to start all over with. And it just was like, okay, no, you know what? After a few weeks of trying to make a decision, I decided, no, I can't do it.
Wow.
So I decided to stay, and I was working at the same school that I started working at when I was 17.
Yes.
I worked at again, and I stayed there for 7 years and fell in love with working in the library.
So do you think when you came home to Trinidad that you hoped to look for a job in the fashion industry still, or you were kind of like over it? Because you did have that love for the school.
Well, I wanted to, I guess you could say, but Trinidad is a very strange place for fashion.
Okay.
It's
I think all of the islands probably are.
Yeah, it's a very small, like a very cliquey kind of group of people that monopolize the fashion industry there.
Mm-hmm.
And then people have warped fashion mostly, sometimes I think, into carnival costumes, which are beads and bikinis.
Right.
It's not much fashion.
And feathers.
And such. So to me, that's not what I was doing. I was doing more like resort wear and, just wanted to kind of find somewhere that would help me evolve fashion-wise. And then I did technical design, and nobody was, at least that I know of, was you needing a technical designer.
Right.
So maybe I just didn't know the right people. I don't know, and I'm not want to be in a cliquey kind of environment.
Yeah.
So it just didn't work out.
Okay.
And I wasn't upset about it. I still did
Good.
my own thing. I still did my own photo shoots.
Your bags.
My bags. I started doing handbags, and I sold stuff, and I had a job because I was working at the school.
Right.
I could not pay my school loans at that point. I was not making enough. But I wasn't upset about anything. I had a grace period before I had to pay them off, and I was fine.
Okay.
When that grace period ended, then I was like, oh.
Let me work something out.
Yeah.
Okay, so after your time at the school in Trinidad, as a librarian, correct?
Yes.
You decided to go to another school in Sudan, and you're now in Sudan.
Yes.
So what was that transition like? How has it been? Because you've been there for almost a half a year now.
Yeah. It's been interesting. I mean, the school is amazing. The school has amazing facilities. The staff is amazing. They're all well qualified. The school provides you with opportunities for professional development. They really invest in their human resources.
Okay.
The people are friendly, both in the school and in general in Sudan. I think that's one of the main things that I love about Sudan, is just how friendly people are in general.
Right.
But there's a lot about Sudan that's not what you would typically find comfortable. You have to have a strong constitution to go to a place like Sudan.
Okay.
Khartoum is the city, the major city there, so it's very developed, but it's still a developing country. Some would even describe it as, fourth world, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, but it's still very much in development, and there's a huge disparity from what I'm seeing in terms of the poverty line. So it makes things very uncomfortable. Cost of living is, it fluctuates because right now the dollar is fluctuating, so the cost of food is going up.
So what's the difference between, like, what's the equivalent? The cost of $1 to, let's say, the Trinidad currency, and then
I don't know about the Trinidad.
The US.
The US currency is what I use mostly, but it's like $1 would be about 60 Sudanese pounds.
Okay.
But that fluctuates, so it could go up to 80, it could go down to 60, it could go to 50s. I mean, when we arrived, it was at 40s.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and that was 5 months ago. So that's what I'm saying, like, it fluctuates so much, it's very difficult to pinpoint what is going to be or what it is.
Right.
But the food prices still are going up. There's a lot of civil unrest. I wouldn't say a lot. There's a startup of civil unrest now as the food prices have increased. People are protesting about it, and it's a police state, so the police, can basically retaliate in any way that they want. The day that I left to come back home was, there were protests and fires in the street, and streets blocked off, and we're like, we need to get to the airport.
Yeah, that's all we want to do.
Yeah, just as long as we get to the airport and get on a plane, we're fine.
Wow.
But it's not as unsafe as people paint it to be in the media. Regardless of all this is newly developed, and before I even went to Sudan, everybody was warning me about it. And I mean, in my opinion, from what I've seen, Trinidad is less safe than Sudan.
Really?
Yeah. So
you actually, I guess at this point, would you enjoy living in Trinidad?
No.
Or Sudan more?
I think Sudan.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it in terms of, it depends on what you're looking at.
Right.
Economically, it's more economical for me to live in Sudan.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So we spoke about, like, the cost of food.
Yeah.
And the price you pay for gas.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you pay for gas in a month? Like, what are
My
just
expenses.
a few of your monthly expenses, just so people can get an idea?
So gas, if I'm using US, so gas would be the equivalent of $3 to fill my tank, which would last about 3 weeks. Electricity would be about $4 for the month. Yeah.
That just blows my mind.
It's amazing, but then it's like when you put it into Sudanese pounds,
it's a lot.
It's more.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But if you put it in US dollars, you can go over with US dollars and live a very comfortable life.
Yeah.
But we get our living allowance in Sudanese pounds, so it's, when the food prices go up, it's a struggle.
Right.
Food is very limited too. You don't get a lot of variety in terms of vegetables and fruits. Mm-hmm. You are in the desert, so I don't see, I suppose they do import things, but I don't know with how many countries they have an import relationship with. So I don't know. They've just lifted the sanctions the US have just lifted the sanctions, but we're not seeing that on our end.
Okay.
Yet, so.
Okay. Well, so you've been there 6 months almost.
5, yeah.
And your contract is for
2 years.
2 years. Do you see yourself staying longer than 2 years?
Yeah.
Do you want to explore a different place to live? Like, what's next?
I ideally would prefer to go somewhere else. I mean, Sudan is not easy to live in. It's very dry, very hot. It's, there's not much going on in terms of, if you're somebody that likes to party and stuff, you're probably not going to enjoy it. I find myself always having things to do because there's a small expat community, and they always have events.
Right.
So I find it very socially active.
Okay.
But that being said, it's still not the easiest for people to come visit you, for you to go and visit people, because nobody very few airlines directly fly into Sudan, so it's difficult to fly out, go places.
Right.
So if I had a choice to answer your question, I think I would leave at the end of 2 years, but because of financial circumstances, I will stay longer than 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are some other places that you would like to visit? Travel to or live in?
Travel to, I definitely want to do Costa Rica.
Okay.
And South America. So certain countries in South America like Argentina, Colombia, those countries I would want to go to. I've done a lot of places in Europe. I've been to Italy, Spain, Scotland, England. I would like to go to like Greece.
Yeah.
Portugal. So many places.
Yeah.
It's just so many. I'd like to do like a road trip through the US, you know.
Yeah,
I don't
that
feel like
sounds
I've
fun.
seen enough of that, of the US. And the US is amazing to travel through. I just haven't seen a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just so many places I can't even. I mean, I love Asia. I've been to China, Thailand, India. I'd love to go to like Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. I don't know where I would see myself living. I just know wherever it is after this, it has to be a developed country.
Right.
Definitely.
So, okay, before we go, because we're at the airport now.
Yeah.
What are some things that you would say if someone's visiting Trinidad or Sudan? What are some things that they definitely have to do while they're there?
Definitely have to do.
Yes.
Well, it depends on the person. If the person likes parties and stuff, then come around Carnival to Trinidad.
Right.
And then, yeah,
of course,
you'll play Carnival, you'll have all the parties, that kind of stuff. Definitely go to the beach. Depending on the time of the year, you could go turtle watching. If you're more into nature and hiking.
Turtle
watching?
turtles.
They have leatherback turtles. That
We always make fun of each other's accents.
Not we.
I make fun of her
Jackie makes
accent.
fun of my accent, yes.
But you say I have an accent.
You do, but I don't make fun of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't make fun of you. I just think it sounds interesting.
Okay, Jack.
Water. How do I say water?
Water.
All right. So turtle watching.
Hiking. Seeing the waterfalls, going to the beach. Tobago has like snorkeling and hiking and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and water sports and stuff, and the water is like amazing.
And that's where most of like the resorts are.
Yeah.
In Tobago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Sudan?
Sudan, well, I'm about to do some touristy things next year. So I don't know if they're great or not, but I'm going to watch some Nubian wrestling, camp in the desert by the pyramids, because it's quite chilly now,
Right.
because of it's winter. So it's nice to go camping in the desert. I'm going to go on a Nile boat cruise thing. Watch the whirling dervishes, which is a dance, I think, a Sudanese dance.
Go fishing in the Nile.
Haha, no.
You should.
I don't know what the regulations are with that. So, yeah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't recommend that.
I wouldn't recommend that. What else? I think you could go to Port Sudan, which is advised to do if you want to go snorkeling in the Red Sea, I think it is.
Okay.
Just like, what else can you do there? There's like restaurants and stuff that I'm sure that you can go to. There's Omdurman Market for shopping, which is, I think, a definite must-see. We went on an adventure looking for a camel market. We don't know what we found, but we found camels. It wasn't like a market like what we were expecting, but in Sudan, you never know. That could just be what they think a market is. Who knows? It's just people just there with a bunch of camels, and nothing was really happening in terms of exchange. But if you want to buy a camel, it's $2,000 US. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to buy that anytime soon. All right. Well, that was awesome. thanks for answering my questions.
Thank you. No problem.
And I can't wait to see like what else happens for you and where you end up.
Yeah.
Because it's cool to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good flight.
Thank you.
Bye.
Alright, so don't forget, you guys can always email us at MichelMatters@gmail.com with your questions, or hit us up on any of our socials. The first question is, what was it like blending your families during your engagement and today? What is some advice? Interesting. So the first time our parents met, when was the first time our moms met?
In high school.
Yeah.
First, my mom met your dad at an open house, and it was our computer class.
Oh man, yeah.
Yep. And that was like literally 5 kids in that class.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even hide it.
But that wasn't awkward because your mom and my dad are very similar.
Yeah, they're very friendly.
But then your mom and my mom.
Yeah, but it was fine. Like,
I mean, it wasn't a problem. They're just so different.
Yeah. I don't even know what they said to each other that day. Because it was starting to get dark. It was like maybe, 8 o'clock.
Where did they meet?
So they met at your house.
And why did they meet at my house?
Don't do that. Because I had told my mom that, like, one of my friends was having a little party.
One of your friends.
Yeah. Was having a little party or whatever. She didn't know what friend, but she was just like, okay. And then she picked me up. So that's the difference between the kids back then and today. I could have just called an Uber.
You were still being fast.
I could have just called an Uber. And so, but I was with...
Alright.
I was not fast. I was with my friend at your house.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like played it off a little bit. And then she took my friend home and then she...
Yeah.
But once she got there and I saw, like, we were still hanging out in the living room and I saw they were talking outside. Because your parents are always outside.
Yeah.
Wow, they're always outside.
They really are.
I was like, okay, let's go. They're talking. It's time to go now. Let's go. So that's when I was like, okay, bye. Like, I don't even know. We haven't talked about that day.
What?
Me and my mom.
I
should bring it up.
Talk about.
No, I should see if she's like, that's the guy I married, right? Like, you put 2 and 2 together, right?
I'm pretty sure she did. But I think the real first meeting or the beginning of the blending happened when we were getting engaged and we were trying to plan the wedding. We had like a meal at Jackie's house. And
my parents' house.
Whatever, your parents' house. And your dad and my dad were talking, and like there were some like mutual friends, and then there's like kind of doing the math, like, yo, please don't tell me like we're related in any way right now.
Nah.
But
But apparently, like, your dad went to school with some of my dad's cousins,
something like that.
Yeah. He was like, your cousins are in the band? And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Okay.
But
I think as far as, like, the siblings go, that was very easy because, I mean, me and Judy been riding for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I was probably the second person to know that she was pregnant, and so, like, and we weren't even together at the time, so even if I wasn't going to be London's aunt, I was still going to be, like, her play aunt.
The loyalty was
from far. But yeah, like...
There's no way you would have been her play aunt.
Play aunt from far.
I'm going to just tell you right now.
No. I would never see her because, like, that's just disrespectful. But I would have been her play aunt from far. So me and Judy always been tight, and then, like, it's just easier for young people to understand each other. And then as far as our parents go, I feel like it wasn't until...
My mom broke her leg.
That was when, like, they got super close.
Yeah.
Like, our moms got close. Like, they talked to each other on the phone.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it happened.
I knew eventually it would.
But I knew it was either going to be a baby or something else to bring them together like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was not tragic. It was, tragic. My mom had to break her leg.
She
back at it. But now they think it's these, like, not these,
thickest thieves.
But they cool.
They
like,
still each got their own separate
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, going on and lives going on, but they still like talk to each other. And one of them got mangoes. Oh, come over! I got mangoes for you.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You know, oh, how's your mom doing? Blah blah blah. So there was nothing we could have done to make that happen.
Yeah. I think I feel like maybe there's certain things like we try to do. Like the first year, we had Thanksgiving at our house to get everyone together. Yeah. So we try to do that.
Try to plan an event. Yeah, we did a Mother's Day lunch at our house.
Yeah, we'd have done that.
We did the Thanksgiving when we first moved in, so like everybody could be together.
Even like Thanksgiving at your house.
Yeah,
my parents would show up or whatever. Like I think we've done the last 2 years. My parents have been to your parents' house or something like that.
Probably like the last 3.
For Thanksgiving.
So every year we pretty much come together.
Yeah.
And then if it's birthdays, like my mom's birthday last year,
my parents showed up to the festivities. Like yeah. So I think it's just being like proactive and
be intentional.
Sometimes you gotta force it.
Yeah. Like,
sometimes you just gotta force it.
Especially if you don't have like for us it's like, you know, for some people it's like the familiarity. I wanted to use that. The familiarity works, you know, it helps as far as other stuff like cousins. I already do your cousins.
Yeah.
And your siblings. But like it's the older people, like, you know, my grandma and stuff. Thankfully your mom and my grandma hit it off. So
yeah.
That was weird.
Not really. My mom like gets along with old people. Old
Haitian Christian.
Yeah, it's like that's her vibe. So they hit it off. I expected that. But yeah, I mean, to me I just think it's being like proactive and being like intentional and making it happen. So that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Second question. Can you flesh out some ways to invest? In your adulting episode, you spoke about some adulting things you do, but can you get into some specifics? Go ahead, adult.
I mean, well, we are going to have some episodes soon.
Yes.
About finances.
Yeah.
And different. It may not be what you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have some guests come on. But as far as us, we do invest in 401k.
Yeah, 401k, Roth IRAs. So I think just
real estate.
Yeah. No.
I mean,
that's our plan.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing right now.
That's not what we're doing right now, but that's what we're planning to do.
Yeah.
And then obviously like our home, we don't know if it's forever or an investment or a forever investment.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see. But yeah, there's always that, and then like different savings accounts that we're looking into now that grow.
Just more high interest yielding.
Yeah.
Like I think the first things first, like just do research, because I don't think anyone has like the plan or what to do. But we kind of first of all we just do the basics first and foremost.
Yeah.
But I think that's key, especially while we're still young. If you have a 401k at your job, jump in it. Like, especially if you live with your parents still, go all out, especially while you can. Get your match, whatever the match is. Work to get your match. It's free money. Don't turn it down.
Yeah, but some people may not know what the match is. So like we were talking to your younger cousin, who was like about to go into her second year at NYU.
Yes. And
she was just like, I'm so not ready to be in it. Like, I don't understand how you guys do this thing. This is what marriage life looks like? Like, it's not bad. Like, it doesn't look like adulting is treating you guys bad. And I was like, no, it's not. It's just you have to figure it out. Yeah.
Especially like if you don't come from money or from people who are very open. Like, I think that's one of the failures of the families. Like, you got to talk about money. Not like you got to talk about your failures and your successes so people can learn. And I feel like that's definitely something. If we ever, I guess this is our platform to spread whatever we know. So, like, bringing Joy on to talk about taxes. We're going to have some other people talk about investing. Some people talk about saving, paying off debt. But it's just, like, search out resources. And whatever knowledge you got, don't hold it. Share it. But...
yeah. That was, like, one of the... When you say just, like, paying off debt and stuff... That was one of the first things that we kind of knew going into marriage.
Yeah.
Probably like after year 1. So that was when.
Was it? Yeah.
That was when Mr. Thompson came and he was talking to us about like paying off debt. And even before we got married, we have 2 friends who got married like pretty young. And I was just like, I don't understand how you're doing this. Like, I'm in college, it's a struggle, and y'all are married now.
Yeah.
And Sapphire and Andy.
Yeah,
Sapphire and Andy. I don't know if they listen. But she was just like, yeah, just live on as little as you can. Like, it doesn't have to, just live below your means, and you're going to be fine. And I was like, okay, that's it? Like,
pretty much.
Some people make it, seem like it's a struggle out here. She's like, no, just, don't do too much. And it's true. And you'll be amazed at how much you can save.
Yeah, and how much you don't need once you really like put pen to paper and figure it out. But I think that's like, when it comes to budgeting and saving, first things first, like, you gotta see it. Like, you have to see where your money's going. And then once you figure out where it's going, you start telling it where to go. And once you do that, you got real control of your money. And you have more freedom than you think once you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, I think that's key.
Yeah. But back to your match, because you were saying match. Some employers have 401k that you can jump on. Some don't. So you just have to figure out what is it that they'll match. Let's say some people will match 3%.
Yeah.
And so it's up to you. Okay, I would always say, like, meet the match. If you can go a little over, that's cool too. Because sometimes they'll do like 3% and then like 0.5 for every whatever.
my that's like mine. So my job is they match up to 5%. But they match the first 3% 100%, and then every point after that, every percent after that, they'll give you 0.5%.
Yeah. So
it's the first 3. If I give 4, they give 3.5. If I give 5, they give 4. So that's the way it follows. Yeah. And it's basically, I mean, say it's $100. If you give the first $30 you give, I believe, right? No, 3% is $3. Sorry, $3. They'll match it and they'll put in their own $3.
Right.
So to get my full match,
and
I have to give.
Your paycheck.
Yeah, I have to technically untaxed. That's one of the keys. It's untaxed. Yeah. And then if I give $7, they'll give $5. That's how the total match works. Mm-hmm. And it's like you got $12 for $7. Like, take the free money.
It's a win.
And you think about it compared to your check and where you fall in that range. Like, take the free money. It adds up. Yeah. It's
I don't know what the benefits are on their end
to match.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's a benefit.
Yeah,
for employees.
But I don't know as far as like for the business.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there's some form of tax write-off.
Yeah, I'm sure. So it's a win-win.
Yeah,
just do it. And the earlier the better. If you work in a corporate environment, or even if you do if you work at a nonprofit, it's probably a 401b or what is it?
Something like that.
Something like that. 501b, 401. Y'all
figure it out.
Yeah, I don't work for a nonprofit, so everything's profit where I work. But my employer doesn't have 401k. They have, or they're going to have that next year.
Okay.
As well as like different stock options, I guess, nice. In the company. So we'll see. But as of right now, I'm in an IRA, and I'm just
chip in.
Maxing it out. No, I'm not maxing it out.
You're not maxing it out.
I'm almost maxing it out.
But either way, give into some form of your retirement. You don't want to work forever. To me, one of the worst things is when I see people who want to retire but can't. And that is painful. So I just, invest in your future now.
Yeah.
Put the money away. It'll add up. That's the crazy thing. It'll add up and you won't regret it. You'll never regret it, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you'll hear more about finances in the next couple episodes. So we'll have some interesting folks talk.
Right. On to the
business spotlight.
Thank you. I almost forgot. So for this episode's Business Spotlight, we're going to talk about Moe's, but not that Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. You got to go to Moe's. This is Moe's Restaurant. It's a Haitian restaurant in Key West. I believe it's on White Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's like 116 White Street, but don't.
That's actually really close, I think. But anyway, it's, to me, probably one of the better restaurants we've been to in Key West.
It's like the only Haitian spot out there, right?
Yeah. And there's, Jackie's going to argue, but there's a lot of Haitian people in Key West.
It's not a lot. Not a lot. And there are words that you just don't say, right? A lot. Always. Never.
Anyway.
Right?
There is there's more Haitian people there than you think.
Okay, that's true. Because,
right.
The doors kept coming open and we were like, why are they just sitting at the bar?
There's a comp. If there's a comp, you know there's Haitian people there. Alright?
Yeah, they have comp in the restaurant.
Comp, for you don't know, is like Western Union and you send money to your family in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
what did we order?
It was a group of us, so we all kind of like did it Haitian tapas style.
Yeah.
So we like ordered a bunch of things. So we ordered the roasted chicken. Someone ordered
with the rice, and beans, and there was something else on the plate that I don't remember, and the pickles. Oh my god!
The pickles was fire.
Oh my god!
So before we even went, I had to look up reviews. I'm a review person. I always check everything.
Yeah, I think it was your idea to go there.
It was, and somebody in the reviews was like, they have an amazing spicy habanero cabbage. And I was just like, what? Garnish. It was a spicy habanero cabbage garnish. And I was like, the people have been going there that just aren't. What? I didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just know it's not necessarily people of culture that have been going there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I was like, I gotta check it out. I had a bunch of good reviews. A bunch of people said, one, it was the best restaurant on the island. I was like, okay, that's a selling point. And two, it had the best key lime pie on the island. And that's what got me. One, because I don't like key lime pie.
And two, I never heard of a Haitian making key lime pie.
So I'm like, I gotta check this out.
This could go left real quick.
So we ordered the roasted chicken. Somebody else ordered the oxtail. Fish. We had somebody get fish, like a snapper fillet or something like that. And I don't know, there was shrimp.
There was some appetizer too, but I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was either.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It was all good, right?
Yeah.
It was all good. And
veggies. The inside of veggies, yeah.
So then I was full, and I was just like...
No, I was good.
But I was like, I still didn't order the cheesecake. So I was like...
key lime pie. See? That's how much we don't eat key lime
pie. You're right.
Pie.
It kind of reminded me. But I was just like, I need that.
Yeah.
So she came. Not only did she bring me key lime pie, she brought me potato pie. Sweet potato pie. Very good. So I was like, oh, hospitality, food was good. A little high price, but when you're in the Keys, everything's around that price. True. So you kind of just got to eat it. But to me, it was good. I would definitely go back. I wanted to take a pie back.
We were supposed to, but then we were leaving on Sunday and
they were closed. So. But yeah. So I probably, eventually, if we don't go, I'll tell my dad to bring a pie back.
Oh, that's true.
But it is, to me, one of the better restaurants we've been to, if not the best.
Yeah.
And proud to say it was Haitian. So, support. If you go to the Keys, go to Moe's. Must.
Moe's restaurant. They've been there for, there was an article up there that was dated.
In the 1990s?
Yeah.
Something early.
There was another article from 2005, and then but that was when they were already there for like 10 years.
Yeah.
13 years or something. It's a long time, and I'm just like, who's buying from you?
Hey, man.
Ain't no Haitians here.
Hey.
Like, I don't know, it's weird.
Good is universal. So.
Yeah, and then it was just cool because, we were the only people in the restaurant who could actually speak Creole.
Yeah.
And
so it was fun. And then the locals were there. And, just hanging out. Good to see, other Haitian people.
I think it was, the locals,
There
were other tourists, though. There was like a couple on their honeymoon that started talking to somebody in our group.
Yeah.
And then there was an older couple that was there before we got there.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we ordered the pie is because they were like, this is the best key lime pie
I'm
ever.
telling you. I'm telling you, and I stand by it.
Okay.
That was the best key lime pie.
It tastes like a Haitian cremasse flavored cheesecake.
Fire.
To me.
So
Key lime pie is usually like yellow. It was like a oatmeal color.
I don't know. All I'm saying is
So
if
I
you
was
go,
like, I don't know, they freaked it somehow.
they freaked. So 2 things I say: get the Haitian Arnold Palmer. It was fire.
Yeah, that's what I ordered.
I ordered. Get the Haitian Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
I definitely ordered it.
Okay.
Get the Haitian Arnold Palmer because you didn't even know. I knew I was the one who told you.
Who y'all gonna believe?
Come on. Get the Haitian Arnold Palmer and get the Haitian key lime pie.
Yeah, and get the chicken dish.
I mean, get whatever you
The
want.
chicken dish was good.
I would have got the oxtail, but I was
get
sharing
the
with
chicken
you.
dish.
So, and it's shareable. The meal is that big. It's definitely shareable.
Yeah. And just share a plate. Share
So yeah. All right. I think that's it.
That's it. I'm about to enjoy what's left of the sun
I'm not
for
doing
today.
that. But
You're grilling though.
yeah, for sure. So, all right. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the episode. It's probably Monday for y'all.
Yes, or Tuesday.
Or
Like,
Tuesday. Depends. Either way,
Anyway.
enjoy it. We out.
Bye.
When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work. That just might work.